I would introduce Szabó Eszter in this place because this is quiet. And so then after I would load her place. Could you please come a little closer, Eszter? So, or if you hear me well, that's fine.
I hear you.
So I'm also just so grateful that finally I can create a bridge of some sort between my art community in the Bay Area and my home art community from Hungary. And so Esther is a dear friend who we also attended the university together at the Hungarian University of Fine Arts in the early 2000s. And she lives and works in Budapest, and her art explores two main areas: painting and video, in 2D and 3D video animations that are based on her paintings, which are watercolor and latex, or all on wood. Her works are mostly small paintings and video animations that explore different aspects of everyday situations. She researches manifestations and the origins of public opinion, vulnerability, inertia, wariness, unconcern is a general theme that returns in her work within different contexts. She finished her postgraduate in France at Le Fresno, and she took part in several art residencies, such as in Paris, Montreux through GCE, and in Billfield with Artist Unlimited New York, Brooklyn at Triangle Arts. She has had several solo exhibitions, for example, in Tess Gallery, Paris, in Video Space Gallery, Budapest, in József Gallery in Brussels, and in Artists Unlimited Gallery in Bielefeld. She's also taking part in numerous group shows and art fairs, for example, in New York, Indianapolis, Barcelona, Berlin, London, Paris. And now I would be very happy to load her place that you can explore for a little bit again, and feel free to ask her any questions. And meanwhile, and when she's ready, then we can create the place a little more quiet. And once again, I think each time you have to press G to flying mode.
Nem tetszik. Nem hasonlít. Ennél azért jobban nézett ki. Orrom nem ilyen, a szemem nagyobb. A rúzsom se. Borzalmas.
I go to tectonic classes. It keeps my arms inflamed.
Nekem számít.
I'm afraid my room is a bit intense compared to the other one.
Nem szeretném, hogy az emberek azt tudják, hogy nézem ki.
We went crazy about it when we were young.
Nem tetszik. Nem hasonlít. Csak jobban nézett ki. Orrom nem ilyen, a szemem nagyobb. A rúzsom se. Borzalmas. De számít. Nekem számít. Az Isten is sokkal jobb lesz, fiatalabb, meg mindenki. Nem szeretném, hogy az emberek azt higgyék, hogy így nézek ki.
Yeah, so if you would like to adjust volume for yourself, you can change each video's volume.
Nem hasonlít. Ennél azért jobban nézek ki. Az orrom nem ilyen, a szemem nagyobb,
The yellow,
a rúzsom se.
doesn't appreciate tectonic, electronic,
Ez borzalmas.
electronic, tecto.
Esti,
Yes.
do you have a specific spot that you would like to have us gathered whenever?
I don't know. We can gather. I don't know. Maybe here by the.
On the
wait.
geometry book?
Where?
On the geometry book, or
Yes, the geometry book is pretty much the middle of everything, and we are mostly here, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. So yeah, we can gather by the geometry book.
So now we stopped a few of the animations so that we can hear each other better, but
Yeah.
we can turn those back on whenever you would like to watch them.
Yes. Are you turning them off, or should I?
I think for me they are off, actually.
Okay. Did you turn them off?
I didn't turn on the Paradise, but I turned off the Maria.
Okay. Maybe I did. The other ones doesn't have sound. So everybody can hear me, and nobody's distracted by the sound of the video. Okay. So I don't know. Can I start? Is everybody here? Okay.
Yes.
So I interpreted maybe a bit differently, because I didn't. This challenge of creating a space in this art camp, because I didn't create a new work, but I somehow started to pack all my stuff that already existed in it. And I'm really excited about this new way of looking at my own work. But I'm absolutely inspired to create totally new stuff as well. But yeah, as Judith told, I'm doing animations based on my own paintings. And I'm really interested in this thin line between the moving image and the still image. And also I like to play between 2D and 3D. Mostly all like these last years I was dealing with everyday people and their habits and observations that I make on the streets. And also I have this work, the big one that I'm looking at, the Reconquest of Paradise. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere up there, where there was the church sound and the waterfall. That one is more a political work, because in Hungary in the past 10 years, we had a very nationalistic government. So this one is an ironic, idyllic reaction to that. And then lately, like in the past, I don't know, 2-3 years, I started to deal with more feminist issues. And the works, there are some small portraits somewhere. So I started to deal with the representation of women. I don't know where. There is some small portraits somewhere up there, maybe. I don't know. And also down by the end of this globe, you can see a very, very, like a 4-second video. These are parts of that. So I started to experiment with 3D and to combine it with my 2D animations. And I'm really excited to continue all these experiments in this virtual reality space. They all
75.
started, but maybe I will just stop there.
Yes.
75. I'm
I also
75.
can I quickly share that Esther is at like 5 a.m. in Hungary right now. So thank you
Yeah, I
so
just
much
got
for
out of bed.
joining us for this.
I'm
Yeah, and it's so funny because especially Shole's space was really dreamy. So I'm kind of still dreaming.
This is amazing.
So yeah, the video on the globe on this background, it was a video installation that where I was dealing with the anger of women and all kinds of reactions to patriarchy. And yeah, I don't know if you have questions, because I have like all so many works here and from different times dealing with different issues. So it's very hard to speak all of them. But if you have any questions, the geometry, yeah, that's a very early thing. And I just found a geometry book, and I found it very funny to, just to somehow react to this very serious and exact thing, like math and geometry, and to somehow, so I just had this, I just had a lot of fun creating an ice cream, or, associating forms. And so I have a whole geometry book like that.
I was interested when the title of the geometry book is the investigation of the plane, which also in some ways can reflect on the essence of these characters of some sort.
Yes, but it's not the title of the geometry book, but it's just the title, of a chapter. But the chapters and the whole thing is very poetic if you look at it from a different. So I do like this idea.
Which goes back to your like in between 2D and 3D.
Yes.
But I also kind of see it as like a poetry for. I was really interested reading about how you are researching the essence of these characters. Would you like to share a bit more about that? Like, what are the qualities and these like everyday gestures that are interesting for you?
Yeah, well, I'm observing a lot of people, but so these people are not real people. They are more a mixture of very, very typical things that I see or hear or feel when I look at or speak to people. So I'm searching for the common things that all of us somehow feels familiar with. And so these characters are mixtures of the most familiar essences. So that's.
I would also be very interested in how are these characters. I assume they are very Hungarian characters, and so then I'm interested in. You also lived in France for a while and had a bit of like an immigration experience, and also just the question of like Hungarian nationalism, and how do you use that in your works, or when you bring it into this digital realm, what does that mean, or how do you distill these essences?
I don't know. It's very funny because living in Eastern Europe, you think that it's really well. You think that it's you. One might think that it's very typical Eastern European, these figures and all that. But when I was showing it in France for the first time, long before my postgraduate studies, everybody said that they recognize these people, and it's actually true because what is I mean, I also recognize them in France, in maybe less in the United States, but still there as well. So it's mostly so I choose my characters by focusing on what is invisible, so the stuff that we are so much used to that we just don't realize. So I think it's but yeah, of course, these people are still mostly can be found in Hungary or in Eastern Europe. But yeah, whenever I was in any of my residencies or elsewhere, I found that there is not that much of a difference from the point of view of, I don't know, people are miserable everywhere.
I'm also like now after entering this place from Beatrice's place, and just I can't stop thinking about the parallel of rocks and these characters that are on the, like for example the computer graphics animation of the 3D model collapsing, and the and this VR space, and what a stone carries, and somehow the parallel of these characters and rocks.
Hmm. Yeah, they could. There is a parallel. I understand what you mean, I think.
So, something
But
like where does something becomes alive, and where does it repeat some patterns that might feel empty, or what is the emptiness, and what is like full, like what is it full.
yeah, I don't know what to say to that, but yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. Maybe it's also because it's so early in the morning, but yes.
I
Yeah, I really like the non-narrativity, so I'm interested. That's maybe also a connection between, and this is also why I like this virtual space, and that there is this non-narrativity and non-linearity. So all of my objects, all of my videos are really like that you can start watching them anytime, and there is no beginning or end. They are all just very short loops. So yeah, Connie put it well, cyclical quality. Yeah.
I also read Connie's comment first, like cynical, which I guess is a good word here too.
Yes, I also read cynical first, which exists in my work, of course.
So Sholay says, which also feels like the characters or their actions. Yeah, I'm also really interested, like how we inhabit this place together, and what are these characters manifesting in here. How Sholay would create like two layers of seas and three suns, and like how does this all become alive.
Yes.
And so does anyone would like to ask something from Esther? Anyone has any questions or comments that they would like to share?
I would no, it's more like a comment, but I feel like, lately in California, we've been experiencing, the atmosphere that looks quite similar to what you created here, Esther. The smoky, um, and so I'm really thinking about like how my recent visual experiences where I am, change the way that I'm experiencing your room, and feeling this sort of like sense of, dystopia or even apocalypse, which maybe it's something that I wouldn't have thought before.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very funny. I mean, it's not funny. It's just very weird how the whole world is in a kind of apocalypse state now, and all of these works that were depicting some kind of dystopias, they become illustrations, or their meaning is different a bit.
Right. How those,
Because
yeah, affects how we're seeing them. Yeah.
Connie says, in the vein of dystopia, she also really resonates with the animation of the older female character dragging and then kicking the sack of testicles.
Right on.
Yes.
yeah,
I'm also very interested in this. Like, thanks for bringing up this parallel, Beatrice. How it makes us feel still the geographical location where we are, and how you feel like Bay Area looking something like this. Meanwhile, I was like reading the Hungarian news from here. This politician woman a couple of days ago just grounded a book, which also actually Esther's geometry book kind of reminds me on that, which is like a tale book for about a lot of characters who are minorities or socially underrepresented, and she was specifically grinding it down to openly saying that you can't have homosexuality in children's books and you can't teach that to children. So that's also just like another perspective on where Hungary is at the moment.
yeah.
That
But she made a very good advertisement, actually. Now everybody is sharing it on Facebook, and I think the book will sell really well. So
so thanks for the politicians grinding books. Yeah. I was
but yeah,
wondering.
this shows how in which state or which level we are at the moment. It's
Yeah,
very scary.
the different dimensions. I was
Yes.
also thinking about the plastic bags a lot, like the testicles as well, or just like the plastic bags and carrying weight.
Yeah, I was dealing a lot with the plastic bags all the time because in Budapest, everybody is carrying around these plastic bags. Also, in general, I'm interested in people carrying bags because it's very symbolic. And yeah, and since I'm focusing on female on women, I just noticed how much more bags they carry around. So if you see a couple, often you see like 3 bags with the woman, and then maybe no bags or 1 bag with the guy. And so and then this association, which is very logical for me, the testicles and the bag. So that's the connection. What is the question? I mean, I think you can talk. I can hear everyone. if the characters are watching us or ignoring us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very good question. I don't know. Well, there is this woman in the TV kind of thing. She's complaining to us. So she is talking to us.
Nem tetszik.
It's in Hungarian, but there are
I don't like it.
subtitles.
Ennél azért jobban nézett ki.
Yeah,
Az orrom nem ilyen, a
she's talking to
szemem
us
nagyobb.
about her own portrait. That her nose is not like that, the eyes are bigger and all that. So it's kind of
A
a
rúzsom se.
mirror per. Yeah, it's a.
How did you get the
But-
like? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, like it's so fascinating when, like, as you're translating to us what she's saying. How did you come about that text? Like, how did you come about that?
Well, I was trying to. This was a project that I decided that I will make a series of everyday women, or just everyday portraits. I think at the time, and then I realized it's so hard to make portraits of everyday looking people, and I was making this painting, and I noticed that it is not looking ordinary because she's just too ugly. The whole face and the coat and everything, it's not okay. And then I imagined in my studio, I just had this conversation with myself that, oh fuck, this portrait is depicting a too ugly person, and I was imagining that she starts to complain, So
That's so good.
so that's how it came, the text. And then I asked a friend to narrate it.
Oh.
So I wrote the text myself, but it's yeah.
But
But getting back to the question, all the other people, I think they don't really notice us or they don't interact with us. There is my latest video that is it's a bit a longer one, but I didn't put it in here. But you can find it where the portraits are. You can find an excerpt of it. I don't know where the video. There is somewhere there are 5 portraits. Somewhere, I don't know, above on the. But there is so my latest video, which is a 3D video combined with 2D animation. There I started to make some interaction again, like there is some sound whispering to the main character, and then she reacts to that. But
well, I
But
thank. Mhm. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, most of them don't realize us, I think.